No. Necesito una cama. Una cama. Me da una. Only montura. Estoy aquí. Mojado, estoy aquí. How you doing, Chris?
Good news.
Good to mother.
How are you doing?
Good to see you.
As well.
Steve, can you explain to Mr. Santana, we're speaking about just want somebody temporary until
So with the three of you here, we have you can say we have a duly
We have a quorum.
constituted board meeting, you have a quorum.
Yes.
You could use your majority power within the three of you to appoint a chair for the meeting. You could appoint a chair for the rest of eternity.
That's our.
You could appoint a vice
No.
chair.
The chair is
Yeah, Mr.
no, please. That is a devil.
Yeah, but in order to move the meeting forward, I suggest if you had an intention of appointing a vice chair, you could right now vote on the vice chair and let
Yes,
that vice
yes,
chair
yes.
conduct the meeting.
I make a motion. I make a motion to make Mr. Mata, Home Mata, vice chair.
Second.
For the meeting purpose, I'll do it, but as reference to that, I respect them, but I'm gonna probably stand back. But for the meeting purpose, until the chair gets here, I'll fill in, but after that, I like a different colleague to step up.
You are about to be the vice chair, so we just need a vote.
Made a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All right, with that,
All this candy for me, baby?
good evening, everybody. Why don't we stand for the pledge of allegiance? Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for
Amen.
all.
Becky, have you, are we still doing the opening prayer? How's that working?
Yes. Oh, okay. Yes.
Please bow your head, and we're gonna pray right now.
Yes. Vamos a orar. Heavenly Father, we just give you honor and glory for this opportunity to bring our community together. We ask that all the decisions and everything that is spoken of be to better our community, give wisdom and knowledge to the men that sit on this board, and help them overcome and help us understand better the details of what you are demanding from us. We thank you, and in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, can we get a roll call?
Yes, sir.
Becky, if you would.
We'll start with, Stephen is stepping in for Mr. Camaro. He's our district attorney's, fill-in. C3,
Here.
we got C5,
Present.
and we have C4.
Here.
For the record, C2 and 1 are running late, and Mr. Boyd will not be here today.
Okay, do we have any, Stephen or Becky, do you have any deletions, additions, substitutions to this agenda? Or any adoptions?
Yes.
Yes, so thank you, gentlemen. We have two potential additions. One of them, discussion and approval of the recruitment process for the new district engineer.
Gotcha.
The other one was going to be a discussion and an election of vice chair. I think we've sorted that out, so thank you.
And that will be, how will you use that F? And
F is the recruitment process for the engineer, and the G would be the vice chair.
vice chair. Okay. All right. Moving forward to C, from the board, can we get a motion to approve the meeting minutes for October 21st, 2023?
Motion.
We have a motion on the floor, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The The meeting minutes for October 21st have been approved. Thank you, Board. We're going to go now into our public comments. We have, is this Judith from 750 North Corral Street? You're more than welcome.
En español no bien.
Sí, está bien.
Está bien.
Es mi primera vez aquí después de 3 años de vivir en Montura y vengo por los taxes de la propiedad que vivieron bien locos, no sé qué pasa. Y cosas que veo ahí en el papel que uno no consume. También por la calle de mi calle, que hemos venido 2 veces, así que está llena de huecos, ya tengo que pasar por los dish, porque está completamente llena de huecos. Y hemos venido 2 veces a hablar de esto y fueron, porque el dish mío se mantiene lleno todo el año, porque parece que no tiene caída por otra construcción que hicieron al lado. Dijeron que lo iban a arreglar, estamos esperando todavía por eso. Y entonces, a eso hay
Es 150 dos coronas.
750 locura, correcto. Ya esa calle completa está habitada y la calle está bien mala. Aquí tengo videos de los huecos, que son casi de 6 pulgadas, bien hondos.
Déjame decirle que así están muchas calles.
Y los $3,000 que me llegaron de taxes, ¿por qué? ¿Para arreglar qué? ¿Por qué? Casi $3,000 de taxes. $2,700. Es bien loco, esto es como un
Ah, lo
campo.
sé, lo sé.
Yo he venido del condado Lee, yo vendí mi casa en el condado Lee para vivir más humilde, con menos taxes, y aquí se paga más que en el condado Lee, me quedo
Yo
loco.
también, yo vivía allá para venir para
No,
acá.
yo de Miami a Lehigh y de Lehigh aquí.
Tenemos mucho dice, pero nosotros cogemos, Becky, ¿cuánto cogemos nosotros los taxis? 420 y pico.
$411 es lo que...
Ella tiene una regla, a lo mejor tiene regla en una casa.
Tengo una pequeña casa de un cuarto,
So,
por eso me quedé asombrada.
El condado coge como el 75% de todo.
¿Qué tamaño el terreno?
1.25.
Está cobrando 500 y algo por encima de
Pero $2,700 es mucho para un lugar que es casi rural, una casa pequeña. Yo me mudé para Montura por eso mismo, porque quería campo, quería algo más humilde, algo más asequible para mí. Pero ahora veo que cuando ganas de llorar y todo me dieron que tuviera esos taxes, porque es duro.
¿Sabe qué me interesa?
¿Cómo es?
From January 23rd
January 23rd.
of 2023.
See, that's what I don't like.
Yo me enteré, yo no sabía que las casas su bloque
23rd.
pagan más taxis.
She's bringing us the list.
Es una casa pequeña. Una casa de un cuarto con un baño y medio, es decir, una casa pequeña. No veía ni 1,000 pies cuadrados, entonces no entiendo por qué tengo que dar todo.
Tiene piso de cemento alrededor de la casa.
En la casa sí,
No, afuera.
fuera no,
next door,
fuera no, solamente
on road.
la loma de tierra.
And it's not millions. Hers is just one.
So,
El año pasado fueron $2,000 más. El año pasado pagué 900 algo. Sí, pero bueno, estábamos en construcción.
El año pasado.
Estábamos en construcción.
Hay construcción.
Tuvieron
She's 750. She's on Walt Cypress.
Los Cypress.
Ella está en Walt Cypress.
O sea, no lo cobran.
On the rural side.
That's on-
And you look down the page.
Becky, so in reference to her complaint,
Yes,
which is
sir.
a legit complaint,
Yes, sir.
these are the things that we as a board have been discussing for a long time. When a complaint comes in, getting to it and fixing it. So this complaint was on January 23rd, so we're now November 15th. That's quite a bit of time for us not to complete it. What about the other situation that she spoke about the road, and she spoke about the condition of the soil? Can you speak on that as well?
Well,
swell condition?
On the swell condition, a lot of our swells are in rough shape. I mean, that's,
Yes, ma'am, but I'm just making reference, so if she came in with a complaint, have we addressed that complaint?
we've
I know we have a
spoken,
lot of swells.
yeah, I know, but we've spoken, the only thing is that there is construction happening next to her house that does not help the situation of the road itself.
Right.
So now, in regards to the swell, we stopped off of Lindero, and Bald Cypress when we were cleaning the canals. We have not finished on the swells. So that, I respectfully, I do understand the swells, and like I said, that's going down. So from Lindero going down, on Bald Cypress is where we've stopped. And that was before the rain started.
Yeah, but your swells are probably from all the bumps and holes everybody's,
They're going in and out of it. So,
yeah, we're gonna end up
so now,
worse.
well, we do have it, because we did go by roads, each road, and we marked off the ones that are in the worst conditions to tackle those first. And her road is one of the ones on here, on our list, not just on the call list.
That's right. So when do you think we can make it to this customers?
We just started on Jinete by the store, working on the store one this morning. Because we finally got enough material to start the road. So, Jeanette,
That's a good road. That road's really good. What are y'all doing, put millings on it now?
Yes,
Talking about the road to,
to the store,
where Bobby's place is to be.
Yes.
Beaumont.
yes, yes.
So that road's in really good shape.
Well, what they were doing was, the initial thing was to take some of that crown off to put the millings on it because of, again, the rain started. And if you went, I went like maybe 2 weeks ago, it was opening up in certain areas again. So before anything ruins, the milling came in, so we can seal it, water it, and roll it to at least, because there's so much traffic on there.
Right, because the reason I ask is there's a lot of other roads that have a lot worse shape than that road. I went down there the other day. It's in really good shape. I see they're gonna put more. I'm just making sure that there's not favoritism or nothing like that. 'Cause there is other
We were
roads that
trying to get, what we were trying to do was, because that is una calle principal, basically where our community goes all the time, just like the one, the hunting club and Coral by Olguitas. And there's a big hole right in the center as well, to help, because a lot of people do go through there. And they are the residents. Now, our roads, we did assess, you guys will get a copy of this. These are the roads that we went through, and we marked them off. We did 79 roads last year in the short amount of time we started at the beginning of October, and we finished in like mid-December. We did 79 roads, and they all are holding. So our target is to, on the list, of course, of everyone that's called in, with their complaints, and we've gone out there, we've marked it to the worst ones first, to go and assess it. Not just because you're saying I want millions. It doesn't work like that. The road, we're trying to fix the roads that are really bad.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that our millings goes as far as we can.
Yeah.
Not to just be, selective on certain
I agree.
roads because of businesses or people or nothing like that.
Well,
Just to make sure, because that's going to be a lot of millings. That's going to go there. It's a pretty wide road. I don't know if y'all are going to do just
no,
so many feet. But if you go from where it's at, it's going to be a
where it's
40 foot
supposed to
wide
be,
road.
well, it's not, it's supposed to be a 20 foot. And that's what we're gonna do.
That was wider than 10 foot.
I understand, but that's
I'm
because
just asking that.
you're correct, because they
That's a pretty wide
use
road.
Right. 'Cause that's kind
the
of
swells, and that's kind
that's
of what's
what's going on
happening
with
with
hers.
hers. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the issues that if that doesn't get addressed, it's gonna start happening more, then people's gonna start, a lot of the material's gonna end up going to the swell.
So when do you think we can address the issue with this road? It's been January 23rd of 2023. Can you and your team have it done by next meeting?
Yeah, we can say in about 3 weeks.
So
Como en
we-
3 semanas debemos de estar al lado de la calle suya, arreglándola. Sí.
Becky, so we did
Yeah.
79 roads last year?
79,
Last year.
79,
Last year.
yeah.
So
En Billings.
that means up to September 31st.
Empezamos en octubre del año pasado y terminamos en diciembre, mid-December, porque el niño le pidió, el niño had asked the board for more money for the roads, and you guys said no. So we didn't buy any more material at that time. And then we started getting the rains in March, and then we moved forward. We would scrape the roads with the grader, but we weren't actually rebuilding any roads.
So we
At
did
that time.
79 roads from October to December.
Yeah. In Billings,
What about all this year?
we didn't have the material, we didn't have the funds. You guys said no more funds.
We didn't spend 600,000.
But we spent on, remember, we did patchwork through Hunting Club with Diaz Asphalt because the road is breaking. And a lot of these roads need to be resurfaced.
So we spent 600,000 in 3 months,
Not in 3 months,
4 months.
no. In the millings, we did not spend that 600. In the millings, we spent 309. The rest was on the patchwork that they did off of Montura Avenue, all of Hunting Club, all of Montura Avenue, and some areas on the corners of Appaloosa and Cabbage Farm. That was actual,
So we paid 300,000 for the patches.
yeah, because, again, the base of those roads, which are main roads, which is Appaloosa, Cabbage Farm, Hunting Club, they were horrible, even Montura Avenue, and it was just patchwork to save what we have, because it kept breaking off and breaking off and breaking off. So to stop the bleeding, that's what they did.
Let's try to finish this up with everything.
Yeah.
We'll
So
go
como
on
esta
with
semana.
everything.
Ok.
Okay?
Gracias,
Y de
Fabi.
los taxes de la propiedad no hay ninguna ayuda, no hay nada, no hay dónde ir, porque no tengo hijos, no tengo que pagar escuela.
Sí.
Sacamos el agua de pozo, no tenemos agua en ninguna parte que lo ve.
Tengo el tanque séptico,
Todo lo pagamos nosotros.
entonces una water
Está duro, está
muy
duro.
cosas de que hay que pagar que no entiendo.
Cuando
Si
recibimos
tengo
hoy,
algún lugar donde pueda ir,
Sí.
Yo
Yo
pagaba
por
antes de eso,
los
pero
taxes
que baja.
aquí, cuando yo quería, el board parejo quería subir los taxes, yo fui en contra, yo cero, nada. El único. Ahora, que tiene que ver con el condado de Henry County, esa es otra batalla.
So aquí estás pagando dos taxes. Estás pagando el taxes del condado y
y
este
el taxi
lugar.
local de aquí de Montour.
Sí.
El mantenimiento.
Wow.
So eso es mucha gente
Es
que
como si tuvieras una asociación.
pero está duro aparte de eso, porque
Sí.
fueron 2.700 pesos.
$700.
Y claro que son 2.700 pesos por una casa de un cuarto.
Y en un campo, porque esto es campo.
Eso hay que
esto es
verlo en
una
alguna
ciudad.
parte, tenemos que ver eso.
Pero no tienen.
Mira, yo me he dicho, esto no es mentira, yo he tenido casas más grandes y nunca he pagado, vendí mi casa y nada, y para comprarme una casa aquí, hacérmela con mi dinero, ahora no voy a pagar $3,000. Es duro, tengo ganas, como mismo yo me muevo, no tiene ganas, uno lo busca, pero no lo busca para regalarlo.
Yo
Oye,
estoy
está solo.
muy en acuerdo.
Oye, me siento mal por eso, te lo juro, pues yo nunca he tenido una reunión de esta. Yo le dije a mi mujer, vamos a ver,
Pero
lo que
que
tenemos que
no
ir.
sea-
Otro desecho tampoco.
She hasn't filed her homestead, yeah, that's why it's so high. But the minute she does, it's gonna be a little high, but it's not gonna be as high. Yeah.
Somos nosotros, hay gente que están, hay personas ancianas que tienen retiro, que tienen cosas que no tienen cómo pagarlo.
Yo digo,
Gracias.
Gracias.
yo estoy de acuerdo, todo el mundo que me conoce, yo siempre estoy peleando en contra de los taxes, porque ese es el abuso más grande que el gobierno le hace a todo el mundo.
Así
Está
mismo.
duro.
Tienes una casa paga con tu, y entonces tienes que seguir pagando, le saqué la cuenta, tengo que pagarle $225
Mensualmente, es como un bill.
como un bill que
Yo
no.
lo que quiero es quitarme los billes, pagué mi casa para hacerme una gratis, para pagar menos y ahora tengo que pagar más.
Debes de pagar más.
Our next
Y
person.
no soy yo solo, estoy de acuerdo con mucha gente.
Yeah, it's the staff.
It's the
Noel,
staff or Jose?
well, Jose and then they were coming in regards to
Joel?
Yeah, and Noel, they're together. And we have Rigoberto, we have Jose back there, we have Albert back there.
Okay.
They were wanting to ask about going to the 4 days with 10-hour shifts,
410s.
4 10s. Because as always, we do have and it's for the staff. On the afternoons, it's like by the time you get back to where you were, and you're literally working at 2 hours before you're coming back at the end of the day.
Right.
So, and to give them more time out there finishing what they're doing, they were asking if, and then I spoke with Mr. Romero, and Mr. Romero said for them to come and speak on that. And so that's why they're here today, and they wanted, that's what they were requesting. So, ¿alguien? ¿Pueden hablar en español, José?
¿Tú? ¿Yo?
Bueno, lo que nosotros estamos trayendo es los 4 días, 10 horas, por la razón de que se ha comprobado de que se economiza más dinero entre el diésel, los equipos se deterioran menos en el ir y en el venir, y creo que aprovechamos más el tiempo trabajando las 10 horas al día que trabajando las 8 horas al día. Porque como estábamos hablando, nosotros salimos a las 12:45 a trabajar en el área del field, y dependiendo de donde estemos, si es en Pinecone, en Bell-Cypress, te metes 15 o 20 minutos con el equipo en llegar, en lo que haces el trabajo, en lo que empiezas ya te ha pasado 1 hora, ya tienes que venir de camino para bregar con el diésel de la máquina, engrasar y preparar para el próximo día. Entonces se nos está haciendo más conveniente, yo creo, el poder aprovechar el tiempo y trabajar más horas durante la tarde, haciendo las 10 horas al día, que trabajando 8 horas al día. Entonces entiendo que se economiza más el diésel, entendemos que aprovechamos más el tiempo y que es más satisfactorio para la comunidad y para lo que se está pagando en taxes, como ella estaba diciendo, que es lo que está entrando aquí para el beneficio de la comunidad. Entonces eso es lo que queríamos ver entre los empleados, ver si se podía hacer como estaba antes, de 4 días, 10 horas, para poder aprovechar más el tiempo de trabajo. Y como la otra vez estaba así y el board lo cambió, queríamos traerlo frente a ustedes a ver si se podía hacer esa determinación para eso, para votar y poder hacer los 4 días, 10 horas.
¿Alguien más?
Bueno, pues ya estamos de acuerdo con eso.
What about, so is this for all the staff?
The office will be open the 5 days.
Is this all the staff?
No, there's 3 of them, 4. There's 4 of them that are not here.
What about,
But they were all in agreement.
Yeah.
They all agreed that they wanted to go to 410s.
This is reference to the clubhouse staff as well?
Clubhouse is on 410s.
They're on 14?
Yes,
As we speak?
yes, sir.
So,
Yeah, 410?
Mm-hmm.
What day to what day?
Remember, there's 3 and they shift. They have shifts. But they all work 4 days with 10
On the
hours.
clubhouse is open.
All the time.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
they work 10-hour day? What time do they go in at the clubhouse?
7, they get out at 6.
I see it closed at 5 at times.
No.
No.
I mean,
I see it closed at 5. So they supposed to be open till 6?
yeah.
So, because there's, what 410s are they recommending?
Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday.
That's the
So
same
let me-
hours that we had before.
So let me ask you the question here then. Most holidays fall on a Monday. So if they don't work that Monday, that now becomes a 4-day week.
3.
No, a 4-day week.
Mhm.
Correct?
Correct.
How does, one thing, so that's 4, that means we lose another day with that Friday, that becomes 4 days. So let me ask you this question, since if they do the Monday through Thursday, if that is approved, how does their compensation work? So for instance, let's use, we have the Albert. Let's just say Albert's on 410s, he doesn't come in that Monday, he works 10 hours Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
30 hours, they work 30 hours.
So at the end of the week, how will his time look?
He's got the 10 hours of the holiday? What do you mean?
You don't pay 10 hours on holiday.
The only way to fix that, what they'd have to do on a holiday, they'd have to go back to like a 5-8, they have to, so what they'll do 4 10s, then they have to flip back and forth.
You only pay 8 hours holiday. You don't pay 10 hours a holiday.
I jump in. If you want to make it the attorney's problem, we have other clients who have adopted the 410 and they had to figure this out.
Yeah.
I don't have it in
Agree.
my pocket, but
Agree.
you to figure it out, and that way it can also be duly noticed. In other words, it can be an agenda item that somebody else might show up and say, yay or nay. But if you just want to figure it out, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because here's the other thing, in most corporations, so let's just go on Albert, Albert's, we'll go on Albert's, right? So Albert didn't come in on Monday. He worked Tuesday through Thursday. And let's just say, for instance, he puts another 5 hours on Friday. How will his time look then?
Fridays we're closed.
You just said we were open.
No, I'm just saying, if we're doing 4 10s,
Right.
now
So
the
let's just say
regular
for-
work,
just-
and
let's just
the
say
regular
for-
work, the week that we're doing right now,
Let's just say today's a Friday, it's raining like crazy. He gets the call to go out. So he's didn't work Monday, it's a holiday.
right?
He worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, his 10 hours. Let's just say, for instance, you call him in Friday to work 5 hours. How will his time look then?
He would have, if it's 8 hours we're working with, or 10?
10.
The 10 hours?
How will he look then?
Well, if it's 8 hours that we're paying him for the holiday, for Monday,
Let's
so
just say
then,
we pay him 10 for the holiday. Let's say
right,
10.
so then he would only have 43 hours in total.
If he works 5 for,
Yeah, because he's only got 30 hours plus the 5.
so how
And
does,
8,
so is he
because the
getting?
8 are the holiday hours.
Maybe you can help what I'm trying to say, Chris, maybe I'm being a little too over the top. How does he get overtime or is it straight time because of the holiday? How does that work?
What he's referring to is like the physical, you gotta work 40
Right.
physical
Is
before you
it the same way or is it not the same?
Well, not in our policy. Our policy says that it is a holiday, it's considered regular hours. It doesn't say that it has to physically be the 40 hours.
That's why I'm asking.
That's why I'm saying it would be 43 hours with 3 hours of overtime. I know where you're going, but I wanted to make sure that that's what we're on the same page for that reason.
What I'm concerned is, you go 4 hours a week, 10 hours a day. Then we have a storm coming in, and you have enough employees to go to the water.
That's on a different schedule. That's a part of our hurricane preparedness. When it has to deal with the storm, we're all hands on. We have a rotation schedule for the
You
pumps.
say hands-on.
Yeah.
What we are right now, 5 days a week, we have a hard time sometimes keeping employees to work overtime, to work on the pumps. Usually we have 2 employees that they say yes. The rest say bye and leave. Yep, that's my experience. I've been out there.
We've had that experience, but we have a schedule, and we've been following that
If we
schedule.
go 4 days a week, 10 hours, then to get the employees to come over here and work in an emergency situation, in a storm, a hurricane, it's gonna be the worst.
Becky, another question for you.
Keep it clean.
What, 4 10s, what's the time frame?
From 7 to 5.
7 to 5, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the lunch included?
That's,
I know,
I mean, they come in at 6:30.
6:30.
It's actually 6:30 to 5. because it's the half-hour lunch. That's the way we did it with Mr. Kelly.
Are you doing it now?
We do it from 7 to 3:30.
They clock in and out for lunch?
Yes. No. They don't physically clock out. It is deducted from their hours.
Are they driving, so if they're time code, are they driving the equipment back
Yeah.
to the shop?
Mhm.
See, that's another thing. That's what, because see, whenever I was here, the 410, one of the issues was us leaving, and then the board at that time told us, no leaving. If you gotta leave the equipment there, you lock it up, somebody has to either, either have somebody, some kind of pick them up, bring them back. Look what happens at that 30-minute lunch, by the time they drive back, and by the time you know it, then it's, and then that's why they said, why do we go to 410s? We might as well just do 5/8s and have an hour lunch. And so that's a lot of stuff that has to be worked on. It's not that it can't be done, it's just figuring all this stuff. Because somebody says, well, we have lunch at 12. This guy left at 11:30, got there, and then by the time he gets here and gets back, you really actually lost more than what you actually gained.
Why don't you come up, in my opinion, because Montura is growing
Yes, sir.
and we need services at all times, right? Why don't you figure out a way, if you're gonna propose 410s, that the staff can be separated, meaning some work Monday through whatever, and the other staff works from wherever to Friday, because we have certain individuals on our team that, and I'm gonna bring it up, that they can't do certain services because it's only on Friday. So now if we go to 410s and Friday is an off day, now that service is a different day, because we have to be consistent as much as possible with our community members. Thank you so much, because we tell them, one thing, and now we're gonna make an adjustment. So I would propose, if I was a team, to come up with something where you split
It's
these,
listed.
so the community still has service. Because most people, to be honest with you, that come out of town, that own here, usually come on Friday, and that was their complaint. Back then, nobody's ever in the office, you can't get hold of anybody because we were off. So I would say if you would split the schedule somehow and make it foolproof or still productive, and then figure out the way with the attorney and what our handbook says about pay as well as, because if I'm not mistaken, if you're working 10, it's mandatory to take lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get 2 15-minute breaks and a half-hour lunch.
But how does that work if you're working from 7 to 5?
It's, you take it between 10, 10:15, or, and then.
6:30 to 5 to have the 30 and then 2 15s
Yeah, but
to make your hour.
you still have to, you still have to have.
This 7 to 5.
And that's the thing, if they're under, you have to go all over the bridges or something.
So the only thing with
Or if they're close to the clubhouse, go over there.
the only thing with 6:30, so when the time goes back to the way it was, there's no way they can do 6:30.
Is there?
So again, just make it foolproof where our community, has service. It just, I would hash everything out. Not just make it foolproof, not make it. Anybody else have anything?
If Steve, if you could just look into it, if we decide to go that direction.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Any
We're
questions?
gonna have you with what you say.
And we just have to kind of look at, because the traveling back and forth, that's a lot of diesel and a lot of wear and tear on the equipment. So if there's a way that maybe somebody could pick them up if they do 410s, that's a lot of moving around, it's a lot of equipment coming back and then having to go back out. 410s, the equipment staying there, it will be economical. With DOT, they spent, I think it's like $4 million. They did a huge study and it worked out great, but it's if you implement it in the same way that they do. If you do anything outside of that, then it's completely defeats the study.
I got one question before we get out of that subject. This 410 was brought up by one of the employees, why they.
The employer here.
Okay. Any reason for the 410?
Well, what they were asking is because instead of them taking time off, like it used to be before, because we have 410s when I first came on board, back in 2018. And it was easier for them to go to the doctor's appointments on Friday and not have to take time off, and it didn't interrupt throughout the week.
How long was the 410 when you came aboard? For many years after that?
No, that
How long you had
same,
410?
I was on it, I started in June of 2018, and it was established before that. So,
Yeah, we did it for years. They changed us from 6:30 to 5. They did 8 to this. They changed us like 5-6 times. We did a log of how much fuel we used. But like I said, if we wasn't allowed to, wherever we're working, the equipment did not leave. But if we left it, you had to lock it up, and then somebody had to pick you up or something like that. Now, if we brought it back, you consider the fuel and the miles on the equipment. You did nothing. You're doing the same thing as 5/8.
How about overtime? Because if you work 410s and you need to come in on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, how was the overtime at that time?
it was, we really didn't do, and this is me being honest, what I saw when I came here. We rarely worked on Fridays at all, unless it was like a storm. And there wasn't a storm when I was here, there was not a storm, you know, so.
That's the thing to figure out, because like there's a lot of overtime that gets done here, like a lot.
We can mother.
And it's just figuring all that stuff out.
What was the reason
How do we
that
get around that? Because I mean, 40 hours is 40 hours, whether you do it in 2 days, 3
what was the
days.
reason that you switched back?
It's not like you start overtime any faster,
Five
but you
days.
still did your 40 physical hours.
You weren't one of the motion,
So,
Yeah.
change it back.
Well, one of the biggest reasons was the
Community
community.
that was coming in.
That's-
Most people came from down south, they come on a Friday,
That's
they
what
go
I'm
on
saying.
weekend, and say, hey, man, your office is always closed. So again, I would say, my personal opinion, if you're going to approach it something like that our services can't stop, because we're not getting any smaller, I'm sure it's wrong. We're not getting any smaller.
And that's, we brought to the table as well, that, and it was made in medium, that I would work from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, to keep the office open, and the guys would have the 410s.
Yeah, but service needs to continue.
Exactly.
Service means
So, I
picking
mean,
up trash. So for instance, let's just say for instance, I've seen some of our staff out there. So I'm gonna use a great example, because if you look at our calendars, most holidays are on Monday. Most holidays are on Monday. So they're working Monday through Thursday. Nobody's picking up trash Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the next holiday, which is Monday. When that employee does get out there, finally that Tuesday, it's in bad shape. And we're being called. So my thing is the services need to be maintained as much as possible. Because of course, we have things that happen.
All the time.
And we're not getting any smaller.
And we have a lot of
And-
rain during the rainy season, and we have to run the water pumps.
Yeah.
How many employees they don't like to work overtime?
I'll ask you questions on this one.
Sure.
This is disturbing if I read it right. Any more questions on that one?
No.
So you want to get with the team and present something to us?
Yeah, I will get with them.
Thank you. I think that closes everything for the public comments. Want to go into the old and new business, which is number 4. Presentation from OVID update on grant.
Darnicia was going to do a Zoom, but because of the rain, it's not, the connection's really bad. She was just gonna give us an update. The update, we basically have been working with the state. Joseph Bauer is our contact, and we are actually moving forward now. So the stuff that Mr. Bennett did for us, it was accepted. They did the whatever tweaks they needed, and it's moving forward. So that's where we're at right now. She was just gonna give you a better details on it. If you look in your packet, I put the Department of Environmental Protection grant work plan of what we were working on.
Yes.
So you guys actually have the physical copy, okay? And that's all the information and the breakdown. And this is on the $4 million grant that was awarded to us.
Understood.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you guys have that.
gotcha. So we'll speak on that. What about B, presentation B? That's still in reference to what was gonna happen this evening also with the presentation?
Well, the environmental status of the reservoir, was with, Bear Claw.
Gotcha.
And Mr. Ferrero was the one that was gonna, just update you
So
again,
we'll wait for-
because we did it in last meeting.
So we'll
He
wait,
already, gave the update.
so we'll wait for the attorney to give a report on that, I've seen some highlights on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a whole permit that is now gonna cost hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Okay.
And it's something that the board has to kinda see if they wanna go that route or not, so. I mean, Stephen, I don't know if you wanna say anything in regards to that.
Well, I see it in your notes, you wanna wait till on your, so we don't, yeah, we won't beat this horse to death here. Okay, going on C, discuss and vote, I'm not familiar with this, I know a little bit about it, but this FRS with Ms. Valerie Brown.
Yes, I can just jump in here. The discussion during the annual meeting was that, this was from Mr. Romero, that although we correctly calculated the amount of district contribution to Ms. Brown's FRS, we may have failed to account for interest that would have accrued during that time period. Okay, we figured it out. So what I'll do is provide the correct number, and then we will, if this is a number that's acceptable, if it's a number that's approved, then the only condition is we'd have to prepare a global release in order to cut the check.
I have something for you while you're speaking. If I'm not mistaken, I think I've seen her come through. She's right here. If I'm not mistaken, this, the email that I seen that was sent to us, the engineer, I mean, from the attorney's office, doesn't match up with, I believe, one of her statements. It's completely different. The amounts are completely different. Our information is a lot lower than her information. So I don't know where we get our information. It's not apples to apples.
Well, that's why the attorney asked her to see if she could get in and actually get her statements. So,
But my thing is, hold on, Donna, if you would. My thing is this information is not private. This information we should have it in our archive. Whoever's doing our account should have all the information, what we pay, what comes out of our check, everybody's check. It's not the employees or the ex-employee, hold on a second. It's not the employees or the old employee's responsibility to keep stuff, even though I do, because when there is an issue, you can have it, but we should have that information in-house.
again, the time period that she's requesting was a time period that she was not collecting FRS and it never came out of Central County funds. She was basically paid as a lifeguard, seasonal employee with no benefits.
So that's another good question. So what do you consider a seasonal employee? What hours would you consider
A
that?
seasonal employee can work up to 40 hours.
Up to 40 hours.
Yes, sir.
So that means
It
if
happens
you work
with the
40
state.
hours, that's 2080 in a year, or 2080.
You can work 40 hours a week and you can work overtime as well.
Gosh.
And it's seasonal because it could be like, she was a lifeguard. So she would come on for, the spring break, right? From spring break all the way up to November when the pool would close.
Yes.
And she could, I'm just answering the questions of what the seasonal or even a part-time employee. You could be a part-time employee, work 40 hours plus 40. You could do overtime. It's a part-time position. As a state employee, we have what is called OPS. OPS workers are contract workers basically because it's money that's set aside because this is what they need for whatever entity it is, and they don't receive any benefits. They don't receive FRS, they don't receive health, they don't receive nothing. So, again, the time that she's requesting was that during a time that I wasn't present.
Tell you what,
I'm not stating that, but I'm just making it that nothing was ever taken out as I did my investigation, and I was requesting her payroll history as what was asked of us.
sure.
So what we did was, we went by and for every individual year, we did a percentage of what we would have, me and Miss Marie from Boy Miller's, Boy Kisper Miller's office. We sat down, we went through every year that it would be that percentage for her, and what we were supposed to pay on her behalf is what I gave in October, that I gave you guys all the handwritten one with the breakdown. And then what was asked was to find out with FRS, what would be the interest to be fair to Valerie. And what they asked Valerie at that time, if I'm not wrong, correct me, Valerie, was for if she was able to get her FRS printout, but because her birthday was wrong, she was having problems in obtaining any of her information, because FRS will not give her anything. So that's where we were at today. So they were asking for us to find out what would actually be the correct numbers on her behalf for that time frame, from 2014 to 2017, not of what she's collected after that, because we paid into it.
No, so what I did was, okay, so where did the 300 and something come from?
The 3,900?
No, it was in there as
It's a breakdown on the email that you sent or from
Yeah.
Amazon.
somebody said.
I've seen it briefly.
So, but I'm just wondering where
Is that
that
interest
300
accrued?
came from.
Is that interest accrued or?
Sure, all right, so the question we were answering is, assuming that we were able to calculate the amount that we were meant to withhold during that period of 17, how much interest would it have accrued while sitting in the FRS global investment? So I'm gonna go, I think these are already in public. So the amount that I started off with was $3,932. Right, so this is an amount that should have been withdrawn during that time. You start off with that and you say, okay, that's what the correct payout is. But you forget that each year, the FRS system has a projected long-term rate of return.
Right.
So that happens each year, so it just so happens that for the years we're talking about, in 15, 16, 17, it's about 7.5%. So you take that amount and you add it to the $3,932.68. Really, the correct amount of payout, again, this is the question I'm answering, is $4,878.70. In other words, that is the amount that we would save, not just the fact that we didn't take out the money, but also that there was some interest that we were on the money. And so that, hopefully, that's the question we were answering.
So
Sounds like there's other issues.
Is that on top of what it was discussed with her earlier? And forgive me, or is that what we're saying that is what she's due?
So yes, again, the total amount, so for your reference, in October, the amount that was before us was $3,900.
I see that. Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes,
All right,
sir.
so it turns out, I'm gonna say it's $4,878.70. That's all.
So what you're saying is the payout now, instead of being 3,900, now you're saying it's going to be 4,000.
$4,878.
We're trying to open up this email.
Because I did get my tax return, so I know the amount that it was yearly that I made here. So how would you figure out the percentage that was supposed to be taken out of that? That's my question.
So, and again.
And that was based off of the amount that was yearly?
In October, so the question I guess we have to answer is, how did we get $3,932.68? That's price tag. So that looks as though it came directly from W-2. At least one of the things.
Yeah, it was from whatever, the payroll was that I pulled, that I got from the paperwork, that showed you what you received from that time frame. From when you started making in June of 2014,
Yes.
and then you would end up till November, that time frame, whatever it was on the paperwork, on the payroll papers that I have, that we pulled.
Okay, so from 2014, from what I found all of the W-2s. I didn't get the income tax papers, but I did get the W-2, my W-2s. I did find them. So for 2014, it was $5,265.02.
That was paid in?
That was what my W-2 was.
That's what she received.
That's what I, the whole year. That's what I made for that year. And then in 2015, it was $13,285. So then 2016 was $22,220. And then on 2017, I didn't find the W-2, but I did find all of the schedules. From
Well, in
2017, so me going through like that, I was.
In
I-
2017, the only 2 months that you were not paid out, that they should have, was January and February. Because your FRS started in March of 2017. From March 1st is when it started. That's when they started pulling out your FRS, until you stopped working. Just so you know.
Yeah, because when I talked to them from FRS, they gave me very little information from them. The only thing that they did let me know that in September 5th, it was defaulted into pension. Instead of staying in the investment, where it was supposed to be.
Well,
They did the same with mine.
I've been here and mine's has only been pension. We don't have the investment plan. I did bring that up to the board back
You'd have
in
to
July.
No,
We had to ask for permission because we don't have the investment plan offered to us.
But once-
Everybody's on a pension right
But
now.
once you leave Central County, I think prior to leaving, because I know a couple employees down there, they left, they went into the high risk or money market, and they changed it into there. Yeah, but
Okay, that's different.
yeah, but I'm saying, once you leave, I guess you have the option to do it right here, I don't.
No, right now it's all pension. It's not an investment plan.
So keep from 14 to 17, we're saying, I see, return of 7.65, 76,
Yes,
56.
now you're looking at it, yeah.
Right, now I'm looking at, so that's what we're saying, that was the interest to that 39. So can we say, let me ask you a different way because of compound interest. Are we saying 3,900 and some change, whatever it is, plus that 300 for 14? And then it was that,
4,200 more or less. So this round would be getting interest on the interest. Okay.
Let me ask the other question. Is that what we would have matched as well, or that's before what we would have matched?
This is it match or I thought we gave more, generally the percentage was more, but it is on our contribution. So it's the interest on our contribution.
Not what we would have matched on there.
I think that's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
In other words, it's a percentage of.
It was a percentage of like 11, each year is different. So that's why we did it based on every year. We went back and did the year. Some of them were at the beginning was a 9 point something, another one was 10.7, another one ended up at like 10.1%. And that's what we did, each individual, we separated it that way. But it's based on the same amount of, the full amount.
so what happened after, forgive me, so what happened after 17? Started in 18?
No. In 2017, they came out directly from her check. She was already with FRS, everything was established.
So where is that funding?
Anything after 2017.
She has that.
Both a contribution, right?
Mhm.
Not a withdrawal. Withdrawal is what she wants to put. We put in the, let's call it the match, free money, and that accrues the interest for whatever the 2017 rate, 18 and 0. You're only talking about 14, 15, or 15, 16, 17.
So where's, from 17 to, what year did they?
2020.
So where's that funding at?
It's still in there
Oh,
because
I got it.
it's in there, but from what they said, it's only $3,000 in there.
So that would be,
Because pretty much what they said was, once I quit from Central County, I don't get what they put in.
and then from there it accrues or goes up or down according to the stock market or whatever.
Got a question.
Go ahead. Daniel has the seat again.
You're good.
When we come to the agreement to pay her off, is any tax deducted on any interest rate?
No, she'll be income. Do we tax her for her? Will we tax her?
Would it be like a taxable, we holding on this end, or she'd be 1099 for?
No, that would be essentially, maybe a 1099 if it does something like change your tax bracket. In other words, if you were granted a certain amount, and now this takes you over, then there's going to be a tax.
That's why I want to make sure
Yeah, right.
that you're
This
aware of
year
that.
there's nothing, yeah, this year there's nothing.
Okay. put a motion on the floor to pay her the 48.78 and get done with it.
You okay with
Take
that,
care of
Robert?
tomorrow.
All right, I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Chris. All in favor?
All right,
Alright,
Okay, thank you guys.
thank you.
All right, now let's continue to D. Update of manager process.
That is on me again, so I'll make it quick. Mr. Romero is going through the applications. Things are here, he has said that there are not going to be a lot of qualified in this particular group, I think he said 10. And that includes the highly qualified people in the room who also apply. So it's going to be a fairly limited pool. He's almost done, he'll send those out. In the meantime, for those of you who are more tech savvy, you can look at some of the applications that you're going to agree with. And he asked me to remind you that if we go through this process and the applications are suitable, we go back out.
Yeah.
So we'll take that up whenever we can be a little
so,
more.
how can we see the candidates? So we have a-
You can, here's what I'll do. I sent an email out on October 23rd that had a way to click the thing and open up the folder, and you can see all of them. Each one has its own file.
When what?
October 23rd, it doesn't matter, I'll resend it. So I'll resend it via the answer just so that you can take another look.
Yeah.
But you can also wait on Mr. Romero.
I mean, in that email, you have the game person that qualified?
No, this is just, right now, that's all of the.
70 something.
Right. So that's right. Give Mr. Romero a little more time, he's forgotten more about this than I'll ever know in terms of the qualifications.
I was telling John that I think there's 77, but there's really 76 because somebody's on their double.
There's double.
Yeah. So I'd highly advise you to just don't scan through it, like really go through it and really break it down. Because whenever I went through it, just on my personal opinion, there's only like maybe 3. And
Put
that's
something
it.
on LinkedIn, put something on Indeed, people want to step up, but that doesn't mean that they're qualified for
Right.
particular needs.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. We might have to go back out and throw the net back out and just do just one more and see what happens.
Is that all?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go forward with that. We're gonna go to E, discuss and vote on soccer league for youth adult at clubhouse.
Chair, if you don't mind me speaking, that's myself.
Go ahead.
Can I get the floor?
Yes?
So, I've been noticing since I've been on the board and lived in Montura, there's quite a few people that play soccer at night. I think we've done several tournaments. And then also, I know there's a league in Clueston as we speak that are playing soccer. I notice we have 17 acres and we don't really have anything for we say we have recreational, but we really don't. Attending the soccer leagues that they have in Clueston, all I see is field, paint, goals, and I know we could muster that up. My thing to the board is that they think it's time for us to start doing those types of things with our community, because I think it'd be a step in the right direction for our community that don't have to go into town for practice. They can do it all right here under our umbrella. Of course, it has to pass all the things with the legal end and all that kind of stuff, but I know we have the field. I'm just wondering if the board would like to try to do something like that here going forward. So that's my motion for Chair.
Second.
Hold on. Does anyone have anything to say?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because the basketball tournaments, they're kind of not panning out, and volleyball pretty much dissolved, so we have the funds. If we're not putting it there, let's try something else. I see a lot of people at the clubhouse who playing soccer, so it'd be good if we could get them whatever area that I guess would ever be good for them, and try that until it dries up, and then we'll move to something, swimming team, baseball, t-ball.
I wish you mentioned volleyball. I wish that would get productive because that's so co-ed. So it's a soccer could be co-ed.
Yeah.
I wish that the volleyball would work as well. I just think also it's the bad location where it's at right now. It's way in the back.
Yeah.
Everybody else? All right, we have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Second by Santana. All in favor?
Mr. Chairman.
Hold on. Let's get through our reports and then I'll let you speak. Unless it's regarding the league. Is it regarding section E?
Yeah, F and.
No, it's regarding the manager, I wanna make a statement, the manager.
Okay, it was,
If I may.
go ahead.
Okay, what's your name, sir?
Steve.
Steve, Commissioner Steve. Can we vote in, letting, Becky, stay in the manager position permanently?
All you need is a motion and a second and a vote.
Jim?
Understand, nothing is intended to limit or suppress your ability to govern.
Bishop,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion, to leave, manager, Becky Hernandez as a permanent, manager here, in Central County.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? There's no second. We're gonna go forward with F, engineer.
Thank you, that'll be me, and just the item is there in order for the board to consider just approving a search for the engineer. So I would ask that you allow us to do a similar process that we did for the manager, which is to create a job description and post it on our means that we have to put jobs out there and see what comes in.
So we doing an RFQ, RFP,
It will not, just as with the manager position, we govern how we choose our engineer, we just have to. So we can do a job posting. So that will serve, the job posting itself will be noticed in the same way that we notice this meetings.
Can you include in that, because what happens is a lot of firms are not familiar with small rural communities. They say they have the carte blanche, they can do it all, but when you really put pen to the paper, boy, I've never really dealt with a small rural community and I can't provide that service. Or, hey, you're too far away for us to send somebody away. So I just want to make sure we vet them out very good and they understand our needs.
I agree. The job description will be tailored.
What's our budget for the engineer?
Should be,
See what it comes out to a year.
This right here is 75.
75,000? Or 90,000? So 90.
90.
I know. Budget 90,000.
No, it's 50. 50.
Yeah, that doesn't. I don't know what engineer's gonna, especially today.
depending on the RFP or RFQ, yeah, that's a little light.
So with that being said, there was something that I think we should suggest, is reaching out, and I don't know how if he can speak or not, but getting with Mr. Bennett to see if he can refer someone to us, that he would recommend sitting on the board, that we can review and look at, because with his experience here in Monterey, I think we want someone who has the same understanding of Monterey. And we're not just getting an engineer just to get an engineer.
We used to have two engineers, one was good, the other one was not so good. I don't know if AIM engineer used to be one of our engineers. And then Brock ended up kind of cutting his predecessor's throat and then ended up here. So, yeah.
Steve, my concern with not having an engineer right now, he's probably the only one that has all the information that he submitted to for our grants. So can we make sure that we get all that information so there's a seamless transition into getting these projects started on time, that nothing is left unturned and we have to go back and forth. So all the files and all the information, that we have that, because I'm pretty sure with this grant they're going to require all this information. Because they're supposed to be shovel ready, if I'm not mistaken, so I want to make sure we have all that.
And just so you are aware, if you have all the information, nothing's changed from what he's submitted, And, even when they did come back to ask about certain things, it was in the grant. It was written, and everything was there. So there was nothing missing on that.
So everything we have paperwork wise that he has, do you have copies of that, or is there certain things that he only has that we don't have here in the office?
Everything he was doing, if we needed them. But paperwork itself,
Yeah.
it's whatever was, it wasn't like,
Do you have as-bills to the entire levy that was rebuilt? Do you have as-bills to that or not?
that I don't know.
That I know he has, because I asked to look at them, and that's something that we gotta make sure we get the as-bills, because if we go through these engineers, there's certain information, stuff that we pay for that we don't get, yeah, like anything that pertains to us, if we don't have it, you could release that back to us.
Okay, I'll get with this, I'll get with Vicky.
Okay, we're gonna continue. Can we have a motion to allow our attorney to put out a flyer as we did for the district manager position?
Motion.
Motion by Santana. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Chris. All in favor? Passed.
How, how long is this gonna take? Because we're pressing to have this, how long is this process gonna take? 2 weeks, 3 weeks for solicitation?
If you think it's 3 weeks, let's call it 6.
So I think the other important thing is, let's just say for instance, we have, five firms, small to bigger. I think it would be wise for us, for them to sit before us and give the presentation so we can ask those questions.
Yeah, and with that being said, I think we need to have,
My opinion.
but it's a great opinion. I think before we begin the new year, we need to either appoint or hire a new manager, and as well as with an engineer. Because with us not having two key components in the district, it shows present. So I think we need to put a push on that, getting that to the board so we can review those top 10 or top 5 applicants. So by that upcoming December meeting, we can make those critical decisions. Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna move to section G, where we have to appoint a vice chair.
So just to bring your heads up, before the meeting, we had a forum. I was elected for the meeting for vice chair, but as I told everybody, I want my colleagues to fill in the show.
You're rejecting?
I accept what you got.
Okay, so with that being said,
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion for, Mr. Moreno.
okay, do I have a second?
I'm sorry.
Second by Juan, all in favor? Aye, passes. Let me ask first, do you accept the position as vice chair? Okay, congratulations. Okay, now we're going to move forward into our staff report, interim district manager.
Well, we've been working with OVIC Solutions in regards to our $4 million grant, which was something that we basically touched base on during our agenda item. It's moving forward. We have a new highway maintenance employee, which you guys also received the emails, okay, in the background, for Alberto Miranda, which is also present with the staff that's here, okay? We are working on Canal 10. That's the one when you're coming in from Flagler. We're still working back there, removing all of that debris and clearing out that canal. Trying to get that done before the rain season starts this year, so we can actually see what's back there. And that's when we found that we had a lot of overflow from someone that has a wetland area on the opposite end. And we stopped that bleeding. We haven't had that come through. We're continuing, we finished the swell off of Alboreda and Horse Club where they did the oil spill. we did remove the oil spill. It is still on the tarps here on our property, and we have to dispose of that. So that's another item that I have to, we just to know.
Replace some more. It'll burn it, yeah.
So, I think that we, the one you spoke about. Yeah, the one. So that we actually finished. Right now, we had a culvert that collapsed on Appaloosa and Willow, towards the canal.
Hours?
It's ours, yeah. On the east side bank. There's two, one on each side.
Corrugated metal?
Huh?
Corrugated metal?
Yes. So, and, with all the rain today, and we ran the pumps to try to bring it down before the rain actually started, but it was too much. So we kind of just suppressed that area, so nobody would go through there. Nobody lives on that road either. So, so we can try to get to it tomorrow to finish it. That happened this week while we were doing, evaluations and stuff like that. And one of the guys happened to be in that area, and he took a picture and sent it, to try to, target that. We've been picking up trash. We picked up a lot of tires again off of, Shetland and close to Pinecone Avenue. Working out 10 runs through the back end. We picked up and they came and dumped again. The sheriff is aware of it, and they're trying their best to try to get to that. We do know that the property that we used, was on Avenida del Sur,
Yeah.
they're completely gone. I don't know where they went, the tires that they had there.
Oh, the one that,
So, yeah, I mean, but, the pool is closed for this season. Our golf tournament was a great success. We raised over $32,000 for our summer camp and for the children, so they don't have to pay. So that money was raised. And we're getting ready for our Christmas event, our big Christmas event that's coming up now on December 16th. So it'll be right after our meeting in December. So we will be, working on that with Pastor Landy and the foundation, and getting that established for, our community, and the kids are really looking forward to it. Everybody's been asking when is it gonna be. So he actually brought the banners, he put them up, this past Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Let me guess. I got a question regarding the tire.
Yes.
And they're regular automobile tires or they're actual semi-tires?
They're mixed. They're mixed.
The reason I'm asking this question because on the semi, they're labeled. Who manufactured the tire or this recap? If we can get that information and go back to that, they're local, they're not even on the state. We can track some of those smart people dumping those tires. I know it can take a lot of legwork.
Yeah.
But at least on those tires, we can pinpoint somebody.
Didn't y'all purchase a bunch of cameras and stuff that, I know I
We
seen.
still have them. We have them with the solar, yes, sir.
Whatever happened with them? How many cameras did they?
We only got 3. We got 3. And when they went to go put them on, we actually have to purchase the service
For cellular.
for them, through them. Because the cameras are the hunting ones, but you have to go through their,
Proprietary stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, you can still use it, you just can't, well, if you want real-time pictures and videos,
Yeah.
if not, you can still use it, you can set up and
Yes,
just retrieve
you
the
can.
SIM card.
You can. We have them. I have all, they're right there, they're in the office with us, solar panels, so that, we put the rechargeable batteries, so it'll just, and we have the rechargeable batteries. We have everything there. It's just putting it in the whatever areas that we feel that they're happening, but there's no lighting as well, so that's the other thing. And talking about that, I did put in your binders the numbers for Glades Electric that we were talking about. You guys, these are the fees here. This is actually the different style of lights. Yes. So, that we wanted to place along by the pumps. So that way, when the guys are out there and we do have to run the pumps, there is lighting there. We did, the guys did kill a cobra snake in there.
No, not a cobra, I hope not a cobra.
What was it? Yeah,
No, not a cobra.
what was it?
The moccasin. Cobras, down by exotic India.
Yeah, we don't have.
Yeah, look, I hope not if you better call it
Probably some type of
WC.
rattlesnake.
It was a rattlesnake.
Yeah, not a cobra.
Yeah, no.
Cobra's the one that sits up like.
Yeah, if there's a cobra, you better
We got
call it
big
WC real quick, yeah.
But we might have problems because we have a lot of indigenous snakes in this area that people illegally bring.
It could have been somebody that, but yeah.
It could have been.
The likeliness of seeing a cobra in a zoo somewhere. Montreux Zoo though.
Let's move towards that.
I found some aliens, I found some aliens.
It might have been good.
Let's move forward with that. Let me ask one question. Did you ever look up for the online GPS system for the equipment?
Yes, I requested some, information from 3 different vendors.
Okay.
I didn't get it all in, so I didn't bring it today, so.
Okay, that's fine.
But I did look into it, yes, sir.
Yeah, there's two things I wanted to touch about on the report.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to real quick. Okay.
Yeah, so I know that the mowing that's being done is just from the swell to the edge of the road. And at what point is it that y'all are gonna start doing actually the top of the swell that we're responsible for? Because there's a lot of places the grass is starting to get like this and there's peppers growing there, and if it gets out of hand, it's gonna get very
They just started doing the
expensive.
whole thing now. They just started this last week, doing the whole area.
Okay, so
Where
we're
they
going to the
started.
top and bottom of the
Yes,
swells? Okay.
Yes, now with the rain,
Yeah.
so hopefully nothing's in the swell.
We'll dry up quick. Second thing I wanted to bring up was the day of the golf tournament. I had a landowner reach out to me off Hacienda. He had some rocks that I guess was moved, and he thought that they was gone, and he found them by the fence.
Yeah.
And I told him that I'll contact the office and ask if they removed them, brought them back, or they're still there. And whenever I called, the office was closed. Well, I called your phone and you didn't answer, then I called the office, so I came up here and the office was closed on Friday for the golf tournament. And I wasn't aware that during the golf tournament that the office was going to be closed. So I don't, that's a rat snake, or chicken snake.
Is it?
Yeah, red rat, yeah.
Okay, well, you don't know.
Yeah, and so one of the things is like the same thing we're talking about, like the 410s, about the Fridays being closed, you know. I think any event that we do is great, but if we could figure out a way to not leave Central County abandoned, I think it's very bad judgment on whoever's part it is, if the board allowed it, interim manager, or whoever did it, that we shouldn't do that. So if it's something that I don't know how y'all want to go about it, speak about it next meeting, or we speak about it now.
Regarding what phrase?
That during any event that, because it was on a Friday?
It was a, yeah.
Yes, on a Friday for Central County not to be completely closed, like to have somebody here on staff in case if something does happen, whether somebody in the office, because if there was an emergency that happened, because I tried contacting you and I didn't get no answer, I called the office, so if something really did happen, how would we contact, would be the next one, and then plus the publication to let the community know, the only notice that was, I guess was on the door.
On the door, yeah.
Yeah, you know, we have a website, we have the thing in front of the clubhouse, if we could just do stuff a little bit more better organized.
Be more transparent.
Yeah, because I was never made aware that Central County stays closed for that event, and it's something new for me. And Rebecca said it was 2021.
We started it in 2021.
Yeah,
It
I don't know.
was 2020, we started our first one was on 2021.
Yeah.
And then
Yes, sorry,
2022.
you're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and it's, and I don't know if anybody else on the board was aware that it was gonna be closed. Anybody else here was aware that it was closed? Yeah.
So we have an emergency phone number when we do close at 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
You guys have my cell phone.
Yeah.
But does it say call this number or?
No, it just says our offices are closed. We're open from 7 to 3:30.
So we should be looking to then have an emergency number that can call whoever's on duty.
9/11.
Yeah.
No, 9/11.
Está bueno, porque dijo 9/11.
No,
I'm serious.
Okay. So,
backup
Yeah.
number.
Yeah, so my thing is just to where
I agree.
that's something that we should never leave Central County abandoned, especially on a work day.
I agree.
Because if somebody would've came up from Miami, like I said, if the notice is just on the door, you come up from Miami, you're out of luck.
from my understanding, last meeting, I did speak to her about, the website, because the website was crashing. To start looking into another company that does websites. And then we also talked about, there's the company that does the app that for special districts and government. So that was something that she said that she was gonna look into as well. That's beneficial for the office, but as well as the community because it's transparent. It's an app you can download. It's basically CCWCD's app. You go on there, it tells you our schedule, it tells you everything that's happening, and then we can do whatever we want on there. So that was something that I was speaking to her about, because there was some other issues and complaints that were brought up to me regarding, information that wasn't there, and communication on that aspect. But that fell back onto us because there was really nothing that we put in place to execute.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on
Yeah,
that.
which we had to reach out to John, because I guess John's the one that recommended whoever's taking care
The
of the web.
website, yeah, when John came on in
Yeah.
2017, he brought them on, to establish the website.
Yeah.
I did reach out to a group called Edmund, which they do Sarasota's, website. It's really nice, and it kind of breaks itself off. They are costly. I do have a quote from them,
Yeah.
$49,000, but they do the whole kit and caboodle with the app, and that's personalized to Central.
Yeah, you have, the reason why it's that much is because you have a 24-hour care person, and like, let's say we have an event, and say all this needs to be put up, it needs to be like this, it gets done within the hour. That's because that's the same thing that I am dealing with the organization. I can't pay that much, but it's the same thing. You have 24-hour care.
You know how much we're paying now for roundabout? Okay.
It's very minimal. Seriously.
Yeah, we need to definitely keep up, because a lot of the stuff on the website's not even updated. I mean, I think our information only goes as far back as 2018.
It's only 2017.
17?
At the end,
And that's
that's
all-
when it started.
Is that all we have? Or is there
That's all
still-
I have.
There's nothing prior to that?
There was never a website for that, before that.
Because I know from experience that there, even from my understanding, because I asked a couple districts and even cities around, how do they update their record online?
Yeah.
They said when they did hire a company to come do it, the company had asked them, do you have files or anything that you want to be added on there? How do you want it? And then what they did was they came to the physical location, scanned everything, did everything on their computer, and then fixed it, and then they gave you like 3 drafts, you picked whichever one you wanted,
Yeah.
and then they published it out to the public.
So they do all of that. That company does that. So that's one. I mean, there's others, that we came in contact when we did the Florida Association Special District Conference. There was other ones that were there as well, and they're willing to do the same. That Evans was just one that they took the time and they actually did it, and they showed me the Sarasota. If you go to Sarasota's website, it's really nice, and they do have that where it branches off to the financial part, and you can look up whatever documentation, all the files are there, and you don't have to worry about requesting anything, it's online already. So,
Yeah, but to my concern is, any event, regardless of whatever it is, no abandoning Central County. Please have somebody here to answer the phone and make sure that whoever's in charge answers the phone and returns the call, because I didn't get a call back, I had to reach back out to you.
yeah, no, you're right, my phone was still on,
That's all I got.
Okay.
I got a couple of chairs myself. Thank you for this report. So I'm looking back, unless I'm reading it wrong, from 1/3 even to December of last year. I see we had a lot of open road repair. Is that correct? Unless I see done, there's still a lot of repairs that haven't been taking place.
from the end of November of 2022
Yeah, I'm looking here.
and all of the beginning of this year. That's correct. None of the ones that we did.
So let me ask you, because you're saying prioritizing what's bad. So if let's just say, for instance, if somebody's has called in from November of last year, we haven't addressed it. Let me ask you a different way. Let's just say some of these people here from December of last year. Have we made contact with them? Do they know something's coming?
Yes.
Not coming?
Yes.
So
We've spoken to them quite a few times, and they would be on our year. Anybody that calls in with their road, rather, they call me 10 times. If they call 10 times throughout the year, it's here. Yes.
let me ask you this question. Hold on, sir, if you don't mind.
And some of them,
My name's on here and I ain't got to call. My name's on here.
we don't call you back, but they call us.
I agree.
But they call us, but if they will call us and say, Becky, did you guys get the material in or not? We haven't started on roads, we don't have the material right now. Like I tell them, we're doing a stockpile because we're receiving our material right now. Now, you're based on last year, on what we did with the millings, that's what people want to see. And they were willing to wait until we received new material. Because we did request money, it was denied, so now they're like, are you guys getting it back?
So what about in reference to that, the couple that was here?
Correct. She didn't have, her was an actual pothole at the beginning when she first called back in January, right here.
And there's some other ones, just looking at, there were some other ones down the road that is called also, Mr. Stahl. So my thing is, this is my observation, only my observation.
You're
We're
fine,
not
sir.
tending to these complaints and concerns from our community in a timely manner. That's what I see here.
Let me ask this question. So, the system that we have here is a spreadsheet. Now, if I call on Monday, and let's say a month goes by, and I call again, is the call logs of this individual who's calling kept on there as well? Okay.
Yep.
And then my follow-up question is, do we have this like documentation on the website so that they can see what roads were done minus the map? No.
And that's kind of like why I asked the question about Camino Real and Jeanette. On a scale of 1 to 5, how bad is that road like to drive down? Right now.
Not back.
So, and then millings is gonna start being put on it. So this is why I go back down to prioritizing. That road has a lot of rock on it. It is a really good road.
It's high.
Yeah, and it's almost the same elevation of the top of the road, of the crown almost.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So it's like, for us now to go and put millings on it, I understand the reason for it, but the thing is that that's a lot of millings that's gonna go there. There's other roads that it'll be more worth to put it there than on Jeanette. Jeanette has a pretty good road right now. Like really good, better than probably almost any other road out here. I rode a lot of roads out here. Like I said, I was just down the other day. That's why I asked, whenever it comes down to these decision making, what's it based off of? If it's based off of the condition of the road's not bad. It's actually pretty good and it's compacted pretty hard. And then to turn around and put millings on it now, and somebody else next door says, you know what they're gonna say? Why did they put millings on that road? You know what they're gonna say? It's at the end of it. Business.
Well, again, and I'm transparent, when people have called, and they ask me where their road is at, again, we just did this, and like I said, you guys will get a copy of this.
Is that road on here? Camino Real and Jeanette?
Yes, it's there. It was there.
No,
If it's on this list.
He's talking about, did it make that list?
Oh, on here,
Yeah.
we've had plenty of calls for Jeanette on here, so Camino Real.
But it's on here?
It's on here as well.
Now, and
You're talking about Montero Market.
Yeah, where the Montero Market is
A
at,
lot of residents call me
all the
about
time. I know.
Montero Market.
And again, we're just trying to, because it is a road that's used and accessed every day on, it gets a lot of wear and tear. and what we noticed was that the millings did hold. Out of the 79 roads that we did last year, two roads, we went back to visit. Out of the 79, 2 roads literally had a small, just had a little small, that ripple ended up leaving. It did go with time, okay? But literally a small little hole like this opened up again. So the road is holding better than the lime rock that we were replacing.
What about all the patches that you told me that we were gonna get good patches and they don't just get destroyed by the water? You told me we were gonna get
The cold patch.
Huh?
The cold patch to fill the holes,
Yeah.
that's what we've been using, and they are holding.
Now, let me ask this question, because this is something in 2020 that even the county combated and that we have to find a solution to. Is our office or our highway techs taking down or putting on paperwork that we can combat with our community of the semi-trucks?
Maybe what he's saying is, when we go out to fix, I'm assuming he's saying when we go out to fix it, we document what work was done. So let's just say, for instance, they patched, because again, it looks like Frogger down Hunting Club from Hacienda to 833. You got to literally play Frogger. Is that documented with, hey, by the way, we put 60 bags of coal patch down that area?
Yes, sir.
And the addresses that have semi-trucks, do we have a record of them on file that we, okay.
No, I don't think.
Something
I
that I
don't think
think.
they even have that in the county.
No, that wouldn't be nothing for
No,
us to even keep up
the reason
with.
why,
No,
the reason why I was
there's nothing
saying that, the reason why I was saying that is because the county, well, here in Montura, recreational vehicles such like that are not allowed here. Is from what my understanding is from Hendry County Code, that those vehicles are not allowed here to be on our roads.
Recreational.
No, like a semi-truck being parked on our roads.
They're supposed to be in the person's
Yeah.
property.
Okay, well, the reason why I'm saying that is if our highway techs are out there picking up trash and they see a vehicle like that, I think it needs to be noted in our system so that it can be reported to the sheriff's office so that they can be ticketed. Because the problem that I'm seeing is a lot of our semi-truck drivers that do live here in Montura or our dump truck drivers that do live here in Montura, they like to park on our dirt roads. And the pressure of the weight of the truck fully loaded, it will damage the road over time.
And I will tell you that Officer Calvo, she's great about going and when she sees them, she goes directly to them and she does make them aware of it and they have moved them.
Okay.
So it is something that we have a lot of semi-truck drivers in our area, but they are being told and she's been giving them tickets.
I got another
So
question.
she is doing, they are doing their job in our community in that aspect.
With us keeping that data of, hey, I seen a semi-truck here at this address, and us having that, and let's say we go out 2 weeks later and we find semi-truck tires in a vacant lot next door, that could have been something to help the detective look into the case, to say, hey, look, right next door.
They have.
I said, see,
What are you talking about? There's a semi in a property?
okay, does he mean?
No, we could, okay, so I'll just, I'll blankly say.
I just wanna make sure that I'm fully.
No, I'll
understanding.
blankly say, so, there's a dirt road here in Montura.
Yep.
There's a semi-truck driver here, dump truck, and a semi-truck. All down this dirt road is nothing but heavy semi-trucks. And they come home every day
Okay.
with fully loaded trucks. 4 times, I physically have seen semi-truck tires at the end of the road in an empty lot. Now, I don't know who had dumped them there, but if I had reported, hey, this day I seen nothing, I come back and I see them, and there's all these brand semi-truck tires, and I report it to the sheriff's office, they have the right to go and look and say, who got brand new tires? That's gonna be your dead giveaway and say, look, where did these tires come from? We can't do that, but they'll have the right to do that. And even code enforcement will have the right to say, well, let's start looking into this stuff. We have to combat, as the board, some kind of policy and procedure to helping crack down on it, because from what I'm seeing is, we're having a lot of people come here, that is a self-employed business, they're working for themselves, but they're taking that easy way out of disposing of the tires and dumping it in empty fields.
Not all of them, so you can't throw everybody in him. I don't know,
Not all
I
of them,
understand. I just,
Majority at this point.
you know, they,
But the thing is,
No.
where And just my personal opinion is that would be, that's the county's responsibility, that's not the county's responsibility.
Well, the county, that's right, but like the county come back with us is, the county says they have no land, they have nothing here, what are they gonna do about
But
it?
so taking into consideration what you're saying, it's their own business. They're contributing to a lot of damage to the road because of their business, right? Maria and Jeanette, we're fixing the road for business because it's for the betterment of the community, right? We can't do a lot of this because I'm all for the people with their dump trucks and semis. I don't like them tearing up a lot of stuff, but the thing is, a lot of them, they're struggling right now with tires, fuel, and all that stuff, you know, and I'm not for trying to hurt businesses. If we had good roads with good subgrade, compacted right, it could hold up. Now, if they start going off the sides of the roads, it could create a problem. And I think the best thing that we could do is try to work and help. You know, same thing like we do with a lot of these other places. Like I said, you know, off of Coral, the other business, you know, we do that. Why? Because it's a benefit to the community. These people being in this community is a benefit. I understand the thing with the roads, but you know, they live in this community, they pay taxes too. And you know, I think we should support them because they're paying their taxes here.
I think they need to.
My opinion.
No, I agree.
It's the county's responsibility to enforce their part, so that's just my opinion.
Okay.
And if they can get away with it, hey, one up on the county.
Okay.
That's on the county.
I'm not for reporting people that their trucks are in their property.
That's their
That's
jurisdiction.
Okay, so we're, go ahead, finish.
Alright, so if, I don't know how the other board members feel, but if I can see what our plan of attack is for the next month
Yes, sir.
to get this off, so when people do call and ask, because I do have a lot of people that call and ask and they're furious because it's like, hey, I made this complaint, you told me to call these numbers, you told me to put it in, but I haven't received. I'd be kind of pissed if I hadn't received some action in a year. I definitely would be hot. And that's not the customer service I believe that we should be giving our clients. That's my personal opinion. So
I just want to mention something. Reference to what the chairman talked about, the tractor trailers and truck drivers. I'm telling you, these people, they work really hard, earn the money. I mean, I have a neighbor of mine, he get up every morning about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Then he come back and late during the day. So they're hard-working people, and we should, I agree with what like this house says, we should help them out in any way that we can, instead of giving them penalties or be out there. Because they're really hard-working people. They sweat, they sure it's every day. And that's my opinion.
We could treat it more like the fish farms, you know, we have other fish farms, there's some that they did what they're supposed to, then you have other ones that they had no regard for anything. And to go against all of them equally won't be right. You know, I don't believe in that, you know, punish one for whatever every other one did either. So, you know, so maybe just some education, you know, work with them if they start doing really dumb stuff. I know some of them might change a hole and drop it there, and we end up with that environmental problem. You know, but it's try to work with them before we even get out of hand.
But like I said, if the sheriff, when they're patrolling, they see them, they go and they have them remove them.
Yeah.
Like, you need to move your truck, put it in your yard, please. You know, like, and they do it, you know. And some of them, there was one that they refused to move it, and
Yeah.
they have to deal with them at that end.
But they're removing them because Central County wants them removed.
The thing is that
because
when we're cutting grass,
you gotta go around them and stuff
we
like
can't
that.
even go around them.
Yeah.
And
We had that issue before.
yeah, so, and it became a really big problem. We haven't had that problem though. And, you know, since we started, you know, and
Get them off the sides.
yeah. So, I mean, at least they're respecting that. We try to work with everybody, like you were stating, so, and most of them would be like, hey, I just got here, I was on a trip, you just got here, give me a minute, you know, and they will.
Okay, since our engineer,
No, I ain't finished. Y'all ain't let me finish.
go ahead, we're gonna let you finish.
I appreciate it, thank you. So my next question is on the culvert permit. I was asked about that. The last time I seen it, it's it's been changed a little bit since the last time. I just don't know if we as the board have seen it. I would ask the board and also, yourself, as you visit for the district manager, if you'll let the board know what's going on before we make these changes, because it's catching us off guard when we're seeing this information. That's the first time I've seen it. And I don't know, I didn't know we did that. So my question to the board is, if we're going to make adjustments to things, I think the board needs to see it before we do it. That's my personal opinion, because this culvert permit that I see now is totally different than what I just seen a few months ago.
Well, it's the same. It's just we added the swell inspections for when they finish their fence permit. Because what was happening is that they were not pulling a culvert permit, they were pulling a fence permit at the county level. They were destroying our swell. And when we would go out there, let's just say your neighbor was putting in the fence, doesn't have a culvert, destroyed the swell in the process because they're using heavy equipment, and there was no way of keeping track of it.
But my thing is that it's more than just that. So I looked at the new one and compared to the old one, there's more steps in this new one. I'm just wondering, does the board know we're doing that, because I didn't know that. So
With the culvert inspection as well.
Correct.
Because there's a modification done to the original permit.
So my thing going forward, as a board member, if you need to vote on, attorney as well as board, is I don't want to see, me personally, it's my personal opinion, I don't want to see modifications done without the board's approval first. Because we're taking what we call apparent authority, and I don't think that's how Central County is designed to work.
And anytime we're running into an issue where it sounds like something we should be doing, notice that it's not, we'll definitely point it out. The manager report doesn't rise to the level of, say, the agenda. The agenda of the meeting minutes have to be noticed. There are a lot of things that are ancillary and helpful. So that's how this happens. If you put it on the agenda, now it's good to go. The public is good to go.
So if you would, my recommendation is us going back to how we did it until we thoroughly look at it as a board and approve of it before we go forward in requiring our constituents to now do it this way without us seeing it first. I think we have to buy in, my personal opinion as well, I think we have to buy in and see it, because I think we're making adjustments without.
Let me ask one question. Was there changes to the permit? Was there changes to the process of how it's obtained?
Yes,
Okay.
and that was done back in July with Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett was sitting here, and Mimi was sitting here. It was in regards to the culverts, because people were putting culverts, two ends, and in the center was a different culvert. It wasn't a full culvert, and somebody's collapsed. And they said, well, why did you guys pass this? Because the culvert wasn't being inspected. So they just, Mr. Bennett stated, and again, we're supposed to be doing the inspection of the culvert.
Now let me ask this question regarding that. So when Mr. Bennett was here at that time and Mr. Arminio, was the permit process still the same, or who acknowledged the change?
And Nino established for us to make sure that we were checking the culvert. So what we did was, on our permit, on the corner where it says if, when we first put the elevations, it shows the date of the elevation, then we would have, the inspection, okay? And we have the first inspection, and then we have a final inspection. The final inspection came when, like, somebody was putting in a new mobile home, or if they finished building the property. We would go back then and make sure that they didn't ruin the swell in the process of all the construction. They didn't ruin their neighbors, whatever, and our roads. So those three were initially on there. What we added was the swell after the inspection of a land clearing and the fence permit. because they were using heavy equipment and they were using our swell to remove the debris that was in there. So that was initially on there. We added that, okay? Now, because we had to add the extra step of the culvert, it was just to make sure that it was noted that we are doing the culvert inspection. And we let everyone that would come in, before you cover it, we need to see and make sure that that is the culvert that is being placed there now.
See, so glad you mentioned that. So let's just say, for instance, I come from out of town. Our process is not good enough for me at this present moment, it's my opinion. Because now, if I'm not mistaken, you get a permit, I think the people speak with Rosa, and once you get the stick, they'll be out there on a Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So let's just say, for instance, it's done on a Friday. So in order to get the culvert inspected, when is that? Next Friday, next Monday, next Tuesday?
Well, normally if somebody pulls a permit, the elevation is done. If you pull the permit during the week, and we'll tell you, Friday, we're gonna go out, we're gonna set the elevation.
So let's just say, for instance, that Friday's done.
So that Friday's done.
I've got my marks. I buy my $1,000, $1,200 culvert right now, because that's roughly what the material costs right now.
Correct.
We're asking our residents to put that down. Mind you, I don't live here, I'm coming from out of town. That has to stay open until somebody comes and looks at it, inspects it to make sure it's the right material.
That's correct. And so what we give the suggestion to the landowner is that when you have the culvert, have the material, no, this is what we explained to them. We're saving them the steps. It's the same process. Have the culvert, the material that you're gonna place, make sure it's there, so when we go and check it, you can go ahead and cover it.
But how about if I'm not that savvy and I order my material after?
But again, before you can do anything, you have to pull the permit.
I agree with you.
So we're giving you the process,
Yes, ma'am.
and because again, if not, we will tell them, then you would have to put it in place when we come out on that Friday, and we'll review it. But remember, you still have to you're gonna have to put some material on top to hold it in place.
So you bring a good question, and this is what I want the board to see. In my opinion, the way we're running that inspection service, I believe it's ineffective, and we're not having enough time. We're having our customers wait a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Well, we technically have 2 weeks for the process.
Hold on a second, but I'm saying, I personally would like to see us out there more often, not just one day. I'd like to see, again, as a board member and as a person in the community, because again, you put these mounds of dirt by the road, that's an obstacle. That's an opportunity for an accident. I personally don't want to see that out in the road for a week, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. I believe we should be servicing our customers more. If they're asking, customers shouldn't have to wait another week, in my opinion, to get the culvert inspected, keep moving and moving and moving. I think with this happening, it's too long of a process. I'd like to see more.
Yeah, do we have a scheduling system? Do we have someone who just strictly does that?
We have 2 people that go on Fridays to do the evaluations, culvert checks, and they do the inspections.
Who are those 2?
We have Arnold and Minnie.
Arnold and
Minnie.
And how many is Minnie done?
They work together as a team.
Arnold.
Because in you do the elevations, so you go up the road, and so they're working together on that.
So I want to ask about the process. So they pull the permit, they put the stakes in, with the center's gonna come measure it out.
Yep.
They'll put the elevation, they'll set the elevation mark. They put the culvert in, you cover half the pipe to make sure it's a complete. No? Then leave it open.
I think.
So this is what happens, so somebody comes from Fort Myers to do your culvert, they're not gonna come back for free. What they're gonna do, they're gonna come, they're gonna do that, they're gonna charge you, and then they're gonna have to wait 2 weeks, they're gonna hope the culvert's still there or whatever's there, and then that's gonna end up
And-
getting costly.
Again, this is why we tell them exactly how to do it, because we're not we have to inspect the culvert.
But we're telling them to do it on
An hour time.
exactly.
Okay.
There's an easier
And again-
process, a lot
And
easier
that's what I'm
process.
saying, I don't like that if we don't have enough options. We should be providing more service so they can have more time. We're basically telling them when they can come.
And again,
And I don't agree with
and
that.
I respect that, but at the same time, we are limited in our staff.
Wait a minute, we're wanting to go to 410, now we're limited in staff?
No,
Be
I'm
careful
saying,
what you're saying now, because you're saying two different things.
yeah, but again, it would not change the process because we would take the same day that we would do on a, let's just say, like you said, come up with a plan. So we split the people up. Friday still will be available to do the inspections.
It should be more
Because
than just a Friday,
I understand that. Moving forward,
okay?
okay? The thing is that we are in Central County. We're minimal to Henry County. Henry County do it on certain days.
I see that, I'm glad you said that.
No,
Who's to
but-
say they're doing it right?
I'm not stating that.
I agree.
I'm not stating
So
that. But what I'm
let's
stating
leave
is
Henry
that
County out of, because we
Our-
live in Henry County. I want to talk
again,
about Central County.
Central County,
Let's talk about
we've
Central
done it on Fridays because it's been the most, what do you mean no?
No, ma'am.
What do you mean?
It
We
used-
never did it. We
used-
never did it before that.
Yes, ma'am. It used to be done many a times. I've done them.
I've
You
been,
look in your record book, there's plenty of times that were done on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. All of a sudden, it's a certain day.
it's been Fridays for a
No, ma'am.
very long time.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Okay.
Y'all haven't been here for a long time. You're short compared to some of us that live here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna continue. Is there anything else that you have?
I would suggest to the board that we look to this to see if we can have more options to our team, because again, I believe we're gonna have residents come and say, hey, by the way, you owe me $1,200 because my structure was removed. I believe we need more services, and also, the other thing I'd like to see is before any adjustments are made to any of our paperwork, any of our services that we provide, that the board look them over and put their seal of approval.
Yeah, and that's something that I've spoken on many times, that before anything gets changed or revamped up, that it needs to go through us, because if I don't know if Eminium did it or how that happened, but if it could just be done in the office, then what are we here for? I don't want to be the one to catch something on the tele and says, hey, they changed this, and they're like, I don't know, and then they're like, well, you're a board member, how don't you know?
Yeah, we establish policy and procedure, and that's part of procedure. So that is something that does have to be approved by the board. That's why I asked her for what time frame. That was
Yeah.
before she became interim manager.
Right,
So
right.
she was just executing it
Sure.
to her ability.
I understand that.
And that's something that we have to address
Yeah.
as the board, because that's something that she'll have to pursue as a procedure.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of stuff that we need to get
Structure.
kind of structured out for our policies and procedures, because we can't have that type of stuff happen. There's a lot of stuff that kind of changes and then you kind of catch at the tail end, and it's like, this shouldn't be like that. We should know before it even goes into effect, not after, because now we're gonna have to undo the problem, and it ends up to a monkey and circus show. You know, we don't
And
need more of that.
that's, you're absolutely right, that's stuff that we have to establish to let our management staff know how we want things done and how we want it to be executed. But if that's all you have, we're gonna continue, that's all you have? Okay, since our engineer's not here, we're gonna go to our attorney's report. Steve, you're gonna be giving John's report?
Ready?
Okay.
Some of these are gonna be easy to knock out. As those of you who are following along, we've discussed the open solution system. We've been through the presentation today, we'll refer on that. I've got the golf carts, and the good news is that the county approved the ordinance. So that the only thing left to do is post the signs.
Okay.
In order to comply with the law, we have to post the signs that say where golf carts are permitted. I suppose we could post signs that say where they're prohibited. That would be fine, but we certainly have to post signs that say where they're permitted, and like you actually, we had a good result today because the counties are help us so that maybe people will not have to just have to fix.
I reached out to David from Henry County. He does the east side of Henry County for the roads, and they actually have a whole like warehouse where they make their own signs and everything. So he was like, Becky, we posted the ones on Pioneer and Ladika where they're using golf carts, and in LaBelle, he was like, I can get you the signs that you need and we can place them. So like in the entrance when you're coming in through Mansura on Flagpole, the signs. Good. It's, and
Can we add to that sign besides authorizing go kart? ATV are not allowed, after that. But once you post that sign, that big sign,
Yeah, I was gonna, once he was done, I was
and
gonna
we need
suggest.
to add ATV or something, you know.
I can ask him, I mean, I haven't been into Pioneer to see the signs. So, I mean, I can have him take a picture and just send it to me.
You know, like a Florida statue, the such and such should be applied, you know, so they realize what, you know, serious that is.
But let him finish his report. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, it's, we've got some items that are related to the reservoir permit. Just so you're aware, Bear is working that. He gave us an update that just says he's resolving all of the requests for additional information that the RAI is notified. And there's also an issue with wet jurisdiction. I'm not going to bore the board with that now, because at some point we're going to bring it before you and it's going to have a dollar amount. So we may have to have a separate issue for that. It's just good. Manager applications we discussed, Ms. Brown we discussed, and then we have the resolution for the meeting dates. I can pronounce that, just the text resolution. Then we got into, Mr. Meyer, that meeting, we talked about fire department annexation and also net losses. And I would just say to the board, let's defer on that for now, because reading the whole meeting, and the issue that comes to mind is that fire, for example, is outside of our big three, which is drainage, roads, recreation. So in order to do that, we might have to talk about annexation. That's a huge. So I would say it's there for you. It's a massive undertaking to do what you need to do in order to even get these two what seem to be minor items. So we have to be self-governing. And that's it for the attorney. We're going to come up with some questions.
I've got a question for you. I know we as the board have talked from times past, I haven't seen any traction, so but reference to Mr. Fumero and his firm is trying to see where we at with trying to move away from this 298 that we have discussed many times in the past and trying to move forward with the next step. But we've just been going hot air, we haven't seen any traction.
It's one of the first assignments I did was looking into that. And the only thing I would say is that it's so specialized that I don't know that our firm would be able to support it. So we would find somebody to refer to what's called governmental and lobbying firm. The reason being is that what's going to happen is you're going to want to do it, and somebody will come and an issue. Right? And so lobbying is about managing and deciding what the reaction might be from the next door or the next higher jurisdiction. And there, obviously there's a package.
And it's a process.
It is.
But we've been talking about this process for too long, but that's what I'm saying. And so can your firm send us something? So, because if you can't do it, then we have to search for, you guys search for us, because we need to try to start going, as the board agrees, we need to start going in a different direction to try to maintain our dollars within our community if possible.
Understood. And there are two versions of this memo. I'll try to find a more concise version. And then what I'm going to suggest is that we look at it as budget, because if we do that, it starts to really take shape. You see what the cost will be of preparing the plan and then hiring it with something for the so, okay, it's going to require change to the tax, for example. So that's how it all balances out. Know that you're not doing it without the money. We have it.
Steve, I got one question, but I don't want to turn my question into a whole nother meeting. So if we decide to go that direction, that's something that the board has authority to send it that direction, or is it something that has to be initiated through the community? And then the board just has to kind of just agree or support the community?
You would have to have a duly noticed meeting that says that you are going to vote on starting the process. And starting the process that really means you're spending the funds. That's the thing, you know, because really, you might find that the operational study that says this is doable, you have the right infrastructure, you know, you have obviously the ability to set up a governing body, the community wants it, it ends in the referendum.
Okay.
In other words, the county, by the way, and so, you know, these are constituents of the county. So there's also the lobbying process is both managing the negative response and creating a positive response. And it was making the county think you really need this, and you want this, this is a good thing for you.
And that's what I wanted him to say. A lot of the constituents want us to move into something else, but they want to have the authority to appoint a board. They don't want a mayor. That is something out of the polls. They do not want a mayor, they want a board. And that's what all of them have said, and I agree with that. The other combat that we will have to fight is everyone who lives here, the county is gonna say no because of the taxes. They wanna keep that money. And a lot of the constituents are tired of that. They did voice that to our two commissioners, you guys don't live here, you guys never do anything here. And I did suggest to them is, we have to present it at a meeting, that this is the direction we wanna move into. And then once we move in that direction, to spearhead it with the community's help. But the community is tired of that.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people, they want to move out of it too, but then again, they always says, you know, with the flip of the other side of the coin, what do you lose? So it's like the deal with the animals. If we do go that direction, do we have a limitation on the animals? Could we say, hey, you can have whatever you, it's where the new board that comes in, it's like we create the community that the community wants, not what outside wants or.
And with that being said, isn't it, from my understanding and the research I've done, is when we do go through that transitional period, the board that's overseeing the district now that will become the new entity, we all have to go for re-election if we want to sit on that board, correct?
Your new charter will say when the elections are.
Yeah.
Right, so it'll be designed cleverly so that, for example, not all of you go at one time, so there's a little bit of continuity there, that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is the constituent might say, nope, everybody out, you know, and now you have, let's say, professional politicians, right? I don't know how you feel about that, but that could be one of the results.
They mess up everything.
So, you know, somebody who knows more about it than I do will be available to brief you on it. But I can say, the way these usually die is when you take before the community, this is how much it's gonna cost, and it's gonna require an increase next year, because that's the only way you capture it, unless you were able to defer something else. And say, okay, this is the cost of it. I can't even give you all, how much it'll cost to finish.
Yeah, because I did some research on it, and I seen a water district go into a township, and they had 5 workshops, and the board that was sitting there said, well, we want to have a mayor, and the citizens said, we don't want a mayor, we want a board. So they did a poll, and it won. The citizens got just a board, and it was just like this. And when they moved over, the tax bracket went to what it is in every other city, and the county hated it. The county said, no, we're not going to accept it, and it became a legal fight because the county's like, they can't sustain themselves, and they had to prove, we can sustain ourselves with this and this, and then that's when it came to politics, because now the new board of the new entity was getting voted in, and now they had to represent that entity. It was a big mess at first because the county was against it, but overall the state said the constituents are the voters, if that's what they want, and the state deemed it possible, and they got their district.
But so the thing is and I agree with what everybody's saying, if we bring the residents in, because all of us, well, most of us, I'm assuming are taxpayers here. If you look where our taxes are going, I think we could say, hey, you know what, for the services that we receive from the county, what we're paying, it's not apples to apples. So again, if we have to bite the bullet for a little while until we get it to where we need to be, and then we can get our taxes where it needs to be. Because again, we're paying not only Henry County taxes, we're paying our maintenance fee taxes, or whatever we call it. And as the couple said earlier, it is pretty good. So, but the thing is, in my opinion, as long as we continue doing what we're doing, as long as we continue to grow, the only one that's benefiting here is the county, because of the service they provide are at a minimum.
Let me ask you something. Are you replacing with it tomorrow?
No, hell no.
Okay, we're gonna move forward. We are gonna move forward like that.
The next meeting. No, No, I do the work.
We promise
Oh,
it'll
okay,
get
okay.
better with time.
I just
Just
wanna
trust
know.
in the
I just wanna
process.
All right.
We vote Steve.
Are you done? Are you done?
Just take over.
Oh, I just wanna know, man.
Okay, now we're gonna go into,
Nominate Steve.
yeah, we're gonna go into supervisor's report. Chris, would you like to start?
Only have one thing, so at the end of Hunting Club and Pump Station 1 and 2, I don't know if you remember what we thought was a right-of-way of ours that Central County used. A couple of the landowners through there, they have a lot of people going through there, you know, shooting up drugs and throwing hypodermic needles, and they're dumping back there. And I know that even whenever
That was very precise, so that means you did your research.
No, he sent me a picture of the stuff, and it's pretty bad. And then they're dumping a lot of stuff. So the reason why that exists is because Central County years ago, we all thought that was one of our right of ways. We cleared it out. We always maintained it, mowed it back. People always used it. Well, we just found out 2-3 meetings ago that it's not. So they asked if there's a way that we could block it off to where nobody could go through there, just for a short amount of time until people quit going through there. Because one guy just put a new fence, and I did explain that it's private property now, and I know that we created the problem, and to see if we could come up with some type of way of fixing this.
Excuse me.
So I don't know if we could. I don't know
Have a
if
meeting.
we could try to block it off and maybe try to help them out.
Let me ask you this. If they put a fence, they can take it all the way to that canal, pretty much to their peg. Why don't they do that?
Well, they already did. So there's one in the middle, but what's happening? People are still trying to go down through there, and then
You talking about
they
the gang
can't
of
turn
homeowners?
around, and they think at some point somebody's gonna try to
Yeah, gang of
You
home
can
people.
put signs.
So you're talking about like concrete barriers then?
anything. They said they don't care what it is. If it's
I don't
two would impose. If anything that could stop people from going through there, they're not gonna tell us what. It's just if we could just do that favor.
move some of these rocks, move
That
some of these boulders
You
with
have to
the.
put some signs.
Jose, you could do that, right, Jose? Move some of the boulders down there.
Yeah, we have to definitely make them liable and put some type of signage or barricades or something.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna be new to some people that, let's just say for instance, they get on a four-wheeler illegal, I'm gonna make a right at the Hunting Club.
Run right into it.
Yeah, that was never there before.
Yeah. Like I said, there just anything that we could do to help him, because I know that this has been a problem that Central County created many years ago, and it became new news to us. And it's just to try to help that point if we can. If we can, great if we can, but I just think personally that it's something that we should do.
I don't see a problem with it.
It's just whatever, I don't know who we leave it up to, if we leave it for next meeting, come up with a plan, or leave it to him.
Well, it's not on the agenda to make a motion to make it.
I don't think you need a motion. Do we have jersey barriers and concrete barriers?
We have a couple.
Something like that, but paint them up really high thing and then put some type of sign. I think that jersey barrier, because most of them come about 10 feet. I think most of them cost like $100 a piece. And you can move it around with your equipment.
That's what we did over there.
Like a jersey barrier.
Yes.
I would just be, my biggest concern would be, hey, we didn't know it's there, come over the weekend, ride next, I go shoot my
I think
girls.
we can make them, we can do a highlight and they'll still run into them.
Which if they do put up, if we could put up the barriers, they may try to, if they can put the reflectors on it, like that stuff that
We're gonna.
that could be bought, that they could put on, just to make it a little bit safer, just whatever, just to make that situation better.
Yeah, I think the whole board's in agreement on
That
that.
shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, I think we.
Yeah, and then at some point, once they start fencing all that in, at some point then we can take our barriers back. It's just to kind of like stop it, and then at some point you're gonna take it off. People say that you can't go down through there. It's a personal problem.
Okay. All right. Juan.
Nothing.
Okay, Tim.
Okay, I want to mention one issue that I have been many times in the 3 years that I have been here. I still believe we need shelters for the school bus stops. Children. School bus stops. I was patrolling the other day and a big rattlesnake, about 6 feet long, was right there. It's the corner of the bus stop. Appaloosa and Riverside. Hey, I killed the snake. I killed the snake.
For what?
But, what do you mean for what? What do you mean for what? The snake is gonna beat one of the kids there, one of the children, and he's gonna be making a big thing for that, you know what I'm saying? And so I still believe the children should have shelters in the school post house. We're saying this for 3 years, and always have been given the runaround. We talk about tournament, we talk about events, we talk about many things. I'm going to talk about protection for the children in the school post house. I believe that should be a priority for us. Okay. Second thing, in the mailboxes, we have the mailboxes here and the mail carriers. Yeah, they're in the summertime. It's really hot. Okay. So we should try to figure out how to put an AC unit in there. Somehow, or what? AC unit. Some way, somehow, you know, we should do it. Okay. I believe you're working there.
I used to.
Hotel.
I used to.
I saw you there.
Yeah, before.
Sweating your neck out there. And I saw you had it.
Very.
Very good. And always, no, because the county, no, because the federal government, no, because central, you know, everybody is passing the ball to each other. Let's put an AC in there. That's it. Let's put an AC unit in there. And that's it. And the person that is in there, do the job that he's doing. Hey, nice AC, you know what I'm saying? Not really hot in there, sweating, it's butt out.
Yeah, I went there quite a few times and I looked at it. So there's a lot of water, all the runoff from the driveway goes under into there. And plus the top of it's just expanded metal up there. So one of the things that I suggested to the mail carrier, and I even called the lady that's over him, is that's something that I think us as a community, we should come together to do that. It's something that we could do so. You know, and I asked if we do it as community members, if we decide to just do it ourselves, what's the liabilities? If we alter something to the mailboxes, you know, are we gonna get in trouble if we stop the water from going through there? And that's what I was asking about liability. And neither one wants to take responsibility of it, so they said, so if you did do it, who's gonna come after you? And that's a pretty good thing, 'cause if we did do it, we're gonna find out who was responsible for it if they come after us. So kind of kill two birds with one stone. But I think, like what you're saying is not a bad idea, but I think that there's something that we should do as a community ourselves. Just because, you know, Central County, this is one thing that we're looking into, roads, drainage, and recreation. And, you know, I think that as a community, it's not a big deal to get it done. I looked at it, I think it's 4 sheets of plywood, some insulation, we can insulate it, put the AC in there ourselves.
Let's do it.
Block up, we can do it.
Let's do it.
We just get together and get it done.
Help you guys out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's do it because,
Yeah.
you know, the person that working there,
Yeah.
they're always nice.
Oh, I agree.
I get sweating and, yeah, they should be working in a nice, happy figure.
Let me ask you this question, have you figured out how to get the USPS to give us more boxes out there? Because that's the complaint that we're having now.
I think.
Yeah, I figured out.
How you figured
I
it out?
spoke about the last meeting, you didn't
No, I'm
get
talking
over.
about the US government.
Yeah. They just built a new mailbox house out there.
When are they gonna do it?
What are they gonna do? Put the mail in there.
Okay, so.
That belongs to us. That
To
belongs to us.
piggyback on that.
No, sir.
To piggyback
That
on that.
belongs to us.
It doesn't belong to
It
us.
doesn't go.
It belongs to the
You
US
mean
Postal
the
Service.
structure?
The land belongs to us.
No, but the structure belongs to us.
No, sir.
I went and I spoke to the US, I went and I
Do you
spoke
research?
to the US mail supervisor in there. I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna tell him to put it on writing.
It is something.
He said that belonged to us. And I spoke to Mr. Iglesias. Ramon Iglesias, the county commissioner, told me that belongs to us.
No, sir.
The structure.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna, is that the end of your,
Yes, sir.
okay. You have anything?
I do. we continue talking about the 298, we should put that on the agenda to move forward or to find the cost of the, how much gonna cost this, movement, you know. And, in regard to the mailbox, we should talk to either Rubio, Salazar, or Diaz-Padrón and go straight to the, Washington to get those boxes out of the way and deliver the mail to every house. Forget about those.
They don't do nothing in Washington.
We've done that, but if you want to
Listen.
pick it up from there, you're more than welcome.
I mean, we need to put pressure, I mean, the more pressure, the more, we talk, okay? Otherwise, the air conditioner, that's a waste. I mean, we should put a heater on top of that, so, you know, they complain,
Well, we can use it.
yeah, they complain, you cannot deliver the mail to there, somebody, you know, go forward.
What do you mean heater?
Yeah, but
That's a heater in there.
I'm saying, put even heat on top of that, to get harder.
I could be drinking before coming over here.
Okay, no, I mean.
Be serious.
I'm
No, be
serious.
serious about it.
I'm serious, so we
If
can't.
you wanna be
go
serious,
to
be
the
serious.
mailbox.
Don't be making jokes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
That's a stupid comment.
and no, it's not.
It is a stupid.
That's-
For me, it's a stupid comment.
And the sign for the golf cart, make sure we add that extra sign, no ATV, no forest statue, whatever. The sheriff will find it or pick him up, whatever may be the case.
That's it for your report?
That's it?
Okay. To piggyback on what Santana, yourself, and Chris did say, there is a lot of paperwork that does put us in a bind because there's paperwork that says it's ours and there's paperwork that says it's the USPS. So something that I was looking at our budget and every year, magically, for the past couple of years, we poured 50,000 into a pool. We spent a lot of money on recreational use. This is something that has been, since I was appointed chair, numerous phone calls have picked up again about the mail.
Sure.
And with the growth of people moving here,
Sure.
I think if we want to move into a township or a city, we are going to have our own post office because every township and city does. So something that I was going to propose was us finding, a steel building, putting insulation in it, and putting more CBU mailboxes like that, and taking ownership.
So let me ask you that question. I'm glad you're saying that. So, being a devil's advocate, I don't see where the post office would say, hey, by the way, I still see them wanting to be in the picture and collecting that rent when it's convenient for them. But I agree, I believe we need to do something ourselves, but you know what? Since you're not helping us, you don't really want to be involved, kind of out of the picture.
No, and with that being said, so this was something that I did my research on. If we build a facility to the USPS standard, they will consider that a micro post office.
Okay.
So that means all mail for Montura will have to be delivered there, not inclusive. They will have to put staff in the facility if they approve it. So what I'm saying is, we call their office and say, look, we're tired of what's going on here. We are willing to take in that bullet and put it in a facility. Our community wants it, but you, in agreement, have to staff it. So what's going to happen is, they're going to say, this facility has to have this, and it's only going to be open from this time to this time, with all the mailboxes on the outside how it is, and they'll put a personnel in there.
So let me ask you, how does this work then? Say Mr. Mata moved into the neighborhood, he wants one of the boxes. That money's I'm going to pay who?
For that little box?
Yes.
To that division. It won't go nowhere else but to that office. If we put an office there, it will stay here in Montura. They don't have to go to Clueston. And the other plus side is if we want to ship stuff out, it'll be done here from Montura and there. And the reason I looked into this is
So
because...
it's not like they're our employees? Central County employees?
They won't work for Central County. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
They will work for the USPS. What we're doing is we're taking ownership, we're building the facility for our community and everyone here. Once that facility is built, we own the facility, we just don't run it or manage it.
So how does the USPS get compensated in this whole process?
What do you mean, how do they get paid?
Yes, where's their cut?
Their taxes from the federal government.
Gotcha.
Because what happens now is the budget that is for Montura is being budgeted to the rural carriers and is being budgeted to Clueston.
Gotcha.
But as soon as there's a micro post office, that money gets pulled from Clewiston and it'll be sent here. So all of that money, and then down the road, once we say, look, we don't want this facility to hold boxes anymore, we want mailboxes out of our house, then that's when they're gonna say we have to grow the facility. They did this in South Bay, and this is the reason why I asked. I went there to South Bay, I said, how did this all happen? They said it started off with a shack. They literally said a shack. The city of South Bay got tired of it. They said, here goes, I think it was $150,000. They built a micro post office. They bought 4 trucks. And after time, the federal government said, well, it's not working anymore. We have to pour money into it. They asked the city, can we own it? And once they took ownership of it, that city, the city had nothing to do with it. And now they have one in Belgrade and they have one so on. But that was my research I did. And I think it's coming to that point where instead of us keep passing the puck, I think we just need to take ownership of it. We have raised taxes, budget it in there, build a nice facility for every single plot and acre, even those that are not occupied by citizens. So when someone does move in, they have a mailbox, they have a box that they can go to. And then down the road, if people say, hey, we've grown, we want our own mailbox at our door, we'll have that facility to say, look, now you could get a P.O. box here in Montour. You don't have to go to Clewiston. That was my game plan, and I was just waiting for the right time.
Sounds good, that sounds good to me.
And we have the land to do that too,
Yes.
so.
And
we'd have to do that, we want to put heating. Good.
And I think after that, that would help us transition into the township or a city, whatever we want to go to.
Let's do it.
Just gotta see the,
Okay, that's everything? That's everything? All right, can I have a motion to close this business meeting on November 15th, 2023?
You don't have to make it.
Oh, motion adjourned. Everyone have a great night.
Thank you.
Vicky, you ain't got my check, Vicky?